Right, hello lads and lasses, and welcome back to Boys Down Under, where today the quest for the league, the quest to retain the League Cup begins, and we have a date with Dingwall first up off the ranks. Before we go any further though, if you guys are enjoying the content and you want to help support the channel, the very best way to do so is to click the like button and click the subscribe button. Helps the channel grow, and I thank each and every one of you for ongoingly, supportingly, that's not English, but supporting the channel. So I thank you all for that. But without further ado, let's get into it. So before we actually get into the video, Celtic have had a departure happen overnight, which may have gone unnoticed by some. Owen Moffat has left the club and joined Blackpool on a permanent deal. So best of luck to him. Hasn't worked out at Celtic, even though he's been here for like 13 years. And hopefully he can find some regular minutes for himself, because he's still a young lad and he's got a bright future ahead of himself. But into the proper video we go. So Celtic are travelling to Dingwall in what should be a very interesting midweek fixture. Nighttime, of course. So it will be an early morning trip back for the Celts back to Glasgow. Anyways, of course, this is the second round of the competition after the group stages, so we're nowhere near the finish line yet of the League Cup, but it is certainly anything but a pushover to start our campaign. Now, running into the match, Celtic have had a perfect start to the season. 5 games, 5 wins, top of the league. But this isn't the league. This is the League Cup, or Premier Sports Cup, however you wish to address it by. So in saying that, there are no second chances. And in saying that, it's clear that the League Cup and the Scottish Cup, both cup competitions, are sprints rather than marathons. So every little bit counts and every single win counts. You cannot afford a loss at all. As for the Staggies, they've had a disappointing start to the season. In their opening 5 matches, 1 win and 4 losses. They have had to play Celtic and Rangers though in these opening 5 games, which usually constitutes 2 losses, but they do sit 11th in the league, and it is not looking good for Mulkey Mackay's men. Now, as for injuries and suspensions, now the home team are dealing with only 2 injured players. Connor Randall and William Akio will both miss this matchup. As for Celtic, Ange has said we have a full bill of health, but Gucci, as Yusuke Itaguchi, he is still 50-50 in saying that, though whether Ange wants to chuck him back in or just give it a little extra bit longer, we'll have to wait and see for the lineup, but it is expected he could feature in this match in one way or another. However, the other 2 concerns, Giacomarcus is fit and ready to go, as too is Joe Hart after needing a couple of staples on the pitch. So, yeah, staples on the pitch against, who did we beat 9-0? Dundee United. Slipped my mind. Anyways, now into the starting lineup, and this is going to be one of my most contentious starting lineups to start the season, because Ange has already confirmed that there will be changes made, and it is our first midweek match of the year. We have 2 very important games coming up in Rangers and in Real Madrid. So, there are going to be changes, but not a host of changes, I don't believe, because this is still a Premiership quality outfit. And we can't be giving them too much of an advantage, even with our extremely devastating squad depth. So I've had to think myself, and I've sort of conjured up a possible lineup which I could definitely see Ange running with tonight. Now, first up off the ranks, Benjamin Siegrist in goals. I'm calling it. It's going to be his debut. I just see it happening. I can see this being his introduction to Celtic. Will I think he'd be the starting keeper from now on? Of course not, but I do see this as a great match to give him his full debut. Then again, another change with Anthony Ralston starting at right back. As the 2 centre backs, I'm going with Cameron Carter-Vickers and Moritz Jens, although I can definitely see Welshie starting this match as well. Then at left back, I'm going for Greg Taylor. Not sure that Ange will start Alexandre Bernabei. I don't know, maybe it was Ange's reluctance to put Bernabei on against Dundee United, because he did put him on very late and he didn't even swap out Greg Taylor, so that's making me think Greg Taylor will still start this match. Then at CDM, our captain Callum McGregor. I don't think he'll get a rest yet. Then box-to-box Rayo Hatate. He hasn't played too much this season, so it seems most likely he will retain his spot. But then at attacking midfielder, we have I'm going for David Turnbull. I think Matt O'Reilly will be rested, seeing as he's started every single game so far this season. Although, we'd all know my thoughts on David Turnbull. He just hasn't got that ability, I don't think, that O'Reilly and Rayo have. Then into the front three, Dies and Maida on the left wing with Giacomarcus up top and Liel Abada on the right wing. Having no Jota and no Kyogo, it may very well kill us. It may very well make our attack very despondent. However, I'm sure they will be on the bench just in case, especially Jota. He could easily be the super sub of the night. Now, also, a lot of people might think Sedhak Sabanovic will get a start here. I expect him to be on the bench and to get some minutes if Celtic are comfortably ahead, but I certainly don't believe he will be thrown into the deep end and just started straight off the bat after only, for a week. I think it's just now a week training with the boys. So, into the final score prediction we go. Now, as we'll remember, Celtic played Ross County already this season at Dingwall as well, and that ended in a 3-1 victory to Celtic. Now, we did dominate for the large proportion of the match, and the scoreline you'd think would show that, but Ross County almost spoiled the day. If it wasn't for 2 late goals from Mauritians and Leo Labada, we would have had dropped the first points in the season. That would have been shambolic, to say the least. Now, since then, Celtic have drastically improved. Put 5-0 on Kilmarnock, 2-0 against Hearts, 9-0 against Dundee United. I will forever refer to that 9-0 win, I think, for the rest of the season. Anyways, looking at this game, right? Ross County, they really haven't improved since we last played them. Celtic have improved heaps. I can see an improvement in the scoreline. But the counter argument to that is, looking at this Celtic team, we will rest a few players, and we do have 2 huge games coming up, as I alluded to earlier. The Derby and the Champions League tie against Real Madrid. Luckily, both are at Celtic Park, which does us a host of favours in terms of travelling. But still, with a host of changes, the ones I've outlined earlier, it will see a bit of a discombobulated, sort of format. I don't think it will be as clean as as swift attacking football as we saw against Dundee United. The game against Dundee United, when we brought on those 4-5 subs at the end, the game slowed down tenfold. But Ange hasn't outlined that it will be, Ange has said it will be changes that the team can afford to make. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to be a full team starting 11 swap, because that would be absolutely stupid. What it means, though, is that Ange will put out a starting 11 that is still strong, that is able to rest a lot of players who have played a lot of minutes so far this season, but will still be able to play Celtic's brand of attacking football and go out there and strongly and confidently win the match. Now, the lineup I predicted earlier, I believe has the capability to do that. Now, the players I have rested in that lineup, if you had noticed, are the ones who have started every single match so far this season. Now, not every single player who has started every single match this season was rested. Greg Taylor, Cameron Carter-Vickers, and Callum McGregor, all 3 of them have started every match, but I kept them in the lineup. Now, I think that has to be done. I think you can't take out every single player who started so far this season. I think that will lead to too much of a disconjoined, I can't think of the word off the top of my head, but just a very messy attack, and a very not the fast flowing, free flowing attacking football that we see. I think if you're taking out players like Jota and Juranovic and O'Reilly and Kyogo, you need those players like Cameron Carter-Vickers, Greg Taylor, Callum McGregor. Although they're not attacking minded players, you still need them in there, because at the end of the day, Cameron Carter-Vickers, club's best defender. Greg Taylor has been great in form. Callum McGregor is the most important player there. He has to start for me. He is the captain. He sets the tone. If he's not on the pitch, I think it hinders us a lot more than if someone like Kyogo was not on the pitch. And that is just my opinion on that. Sure, Kyogo will be missed, but we have Giacomarcus. Sure, Jota might be missed if he doesn't play, but we have Leo Labada or Dyson Maida. Starfelt. That's not really a miss, because Jens is just as good, if not better, in my opinion. Anthony Ralston. We haven't seen really anything of Ralston this season so far. I think it would be great to see him get a start, because we know the quality he has. And look, for me, I think the Staggies will be up for it, don't get me wrong. They'll see this as a great way to make a statement, knock the reigning League Cup champions out of the competition in the second round. But for me, it's just Celtic's desire to win this match will be so much higher. And add that in with the quality we have. I think this will end up being a comfortable win for the Celts. I think will prove to be too strong for Ross County. And as for a score prediction, I'm going for a 3-0 win. You know, it's nothing too serious, nothing too 9-0-ish, but a comfortable win with some goals along the way. And this match is one of those matches we have to win, get it out of the way, and just move on to the derby coming up at the end of the week, because that is the crucial game. And can't forget Real Madrid midweek. So for me, that 3-0 win, Giacomakis to score 2. Let's say Abada to score the 3rd. And that is all from me. So if you guys did enjoy the video, leave a like, subscribe to the channel. Leave in the comments below your thoughts on what the lineup will be and also your final score prediction. And until next time, hail, hail.